a husband should always support his wife and vice versa, right? So Jason Aldean is showing support for his wife, Brittany, and it seems to be blowing up in his face, I guess. Coming up next. Boy, this was quite the post from Brittany Aldean, and they have just totally, I think the transgender community have blown this way out of proportion, in my opinion, and I think that it's a sign of hate from the trans community to straight people.
Or anybody that would disagree with what they believe in.
Right.
Or their lifestyle.
I don't even think that she disagreed.
I don't think so either.
I didn't see that. I didn't read it that way.
No, I think it was taken, quote, out of context. I think she was making a bit of a joke, and it was twisted into a hateful agenda.
Yeah, for sure. And I think when I've said this before, whenever you have to holler this loud and scream this loudly about something that is fairly harmless, in my opinion, is you're probably standing on some shaky ground in the first place. And, that they wanted to draw attention. So, okay, let me even put it like this. This is the far left, tolerant progressives that they would call themselves and have forever and years. And this is less than tolerant.
To say the least, yeah. They're trying to cancel him and her.
Well, and it's working. What do you got?
Well, I don't know if it's working in their world.
It's not.
In Jason Aldean's world, it's working in that far left woke world.
Yes.
Who, just a hunch, probably aren't really big Jason Aldean fans to start with.
Exactly.
So they're just making noise. But, as we've talked about it before, I'm all familiar with that. Make a stink about something that has nothing to do with you to try to destroy somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's...
you know me and how I like my quotes, right?
Well, quotes do good.
Marcus Aurelius said, "Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been." Let me say that again. Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been.
So I would interpret that as, don't give a rat's a what other people think you.
Yep.
All right, perfect.
Some 2,000 plus years ago or whatever it is that Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome, was dealing with butthurt people.
Wow, have things changed?
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. And I'm like, if every time that's okay, this is a time. Let me say this. This is a time that I was a little bit taken aback, and I had done. This was very shortly within 6-7 months after my daughter died in the car crash. I did a presentation at a school, and I got a message, and it was a very it was a message in poor taste. It was a message of personal attacks. It was a message of I guess, to be politically correct, I suppose, and this is a family-friendly show with not too much language in it. It was very disrespectful to the dead, and that took me aback a little bit, because I've been very, very open since the very beginning that my daughter made the decision, and it ended up taking her life in a car crash. And that is a very difficult place for a dad to come to.
Absolutely.
But it is a real place. And I think that frankly, more people need to come to that understanding that we all screw up and make mistakes, and that even our kids do, and we really don't want them to.
Damn right.
And that took me back. That was a whole sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me moment.
Tasteless.
It was super tasteless, and that was a moment for me to allow words to completely destroy me, completely make me lash out or not, or whatever those things. So I understand. My point is I understand. I've walked in those places where words have been very, very hurtful. These words were not directed towards a person or a community of any type. This was describing something that she is grateful for her parents, what they did, and in her childhood.
And there might have been there was a little bit of I wouldn't even say a dig, but kind of a little bit of enough is enough with this. Like, haha, my parents, because I was a tomboy, they saw it as a phase in my life, not as a direction for me to go to, which I think in most situations is what that means. Just because a boy wears a dress, just because a 5-year-old wears a dress doesn't mean he wants to be a girl. Young kids don't understand that.
No.
And I think there's a group of people in our country that will take any opportunity to, God forbid, exploit their children so that they can be socially cool for the moment.
Right.
And the long-term effects on their kids.
And that's what we talked about.
Horrible.
And that was not what we talked about, but that was what I was saying about when you're chasing idols, right? An ideology versus a moral compass. And you're trying to be accepted in society, whatever part of society that is. You go to extremes to do it,
right? To be the in thing,
yes,
or to do the in thing, or to wear the in thing. And yes, there is a very small percentage of the human population that truly believe that they were born into the wrong body. But I think that the vast majority of it, and I'm going to get hammered on this one, but I think the vast majority of it is people trying to fit into the, God forbid, trend. Because where was this 10 years ago and 20 years ago? And I know that there have been trans people around for a long time. There's several local that I know.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with them. They live their life, I'll live my life.
Yep.
That's fine. I have no issues at all with that.
Yep.
But it's going well above and beyond that. And I think people are exploiting it for attention.
Yes, they're totally exploiting it for attention. And then the other thing that's irreversible are these surgeries that they're allowing their kids.
The health director,
the health director, Joe Biden's health director or whatever is a trans person, and they're coming out and talking about this kind of stuff for little kids. And if there's anything to argue against, it's like, leave little kids alone. Let them be kids. Yeah. So at what point? Are we going to let 5-year-olds start to drink and in the states that it's legal, smoke pot, and we're going to let little kids, what about 12-year-olds? Are we going to let them to start vote and all these other things too? And I don't know. Maybe we should. Maybe we shouldn't. But the point is that where is the line? And the line used to be 18, and then they could start making their own decisions. But to push a whole transformation onto kids that they don't understand.
Can I read something about that? So I've researched this topic quite a bit this week, and this isn't a quote per se; it's just the statement. But it says it is beyond children's cognitive abilities to understand the biological impossibility of a male child growing up to become an adult woman, or a female child growing up to become an adult man, that a girl is not who you are but what you are, and that no amount of medical innovation can change the biological reality. I'm not saying this because I'm homophobic or transphobic.
No.
This, to me, that paragraph in my head makes sense.
Yes.
Children that are that young don't understand the difference between XX, XY, boy, girl, man, woman.
And
They're kids being kids.
Right. In the scientific community, I mean, I wanted to be a transformer when I was growing up, dude. I mean,
we need some pretty serious technology for that one.
Right, but still.
Yeah, I've seen some robotic arms and legs. So
the scientific community has basically mainly all agreed on this, and that's 25 years old is when the brain is mainly fully developed, right? Mm-hmm. And so we can't understand a lot of things before the age of 25, even though we think we can. And at 13, 14, I knew it all.
Of course.
I mean, I did. I mean, it was way ahead of my time. Yeah. I clearly don't believe that anymore, right, that I knew it all. But at the time, yeah, I mean, I had to be put in my place a few times, man, and be like, well, what the farm are you thinking?
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay, I didn't see it from that way. I just thought it was that way, right? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we've got to slow down here and stop doing some of this stupid crap.
Yeah, I mean,
attacking kids and
don't use kids as pawns.
No,
let kids be kids.
Yeah.
I have distant in-laws that are extremely woke, and she pushed for her son to dress up as a girl and play with Barbies, and in my outer view, she was doing that so she could be the woke, whatever, not the woke, but the trendy thing, and posted pictures for the first day of school. The little boy was dressed as a boy, and 99.9% of the time, that little boy lives as a boy. Mm-hmm. And the mom just captures the moments that boy wears a dress. But that's what you see. And don't use your kids as freaking pawns. Let kids be kids. Keep the politics out of the playground.
Yeah.
Just
totally
let children be children. Period.
Yeah.
They don't know politics. They don't need to be involved in politics. Don't take them to the rally. Take them to the playground.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't use them to push your agendas.
Yeah, go fishing, go hunting, go
down the slide, go to the water park.
Yeah.
Let kids be innocent.
Yeah.
Because sooner than any of us ever want, that innocence is gone.
Yes.
Enjoy it while it's there.
Yes. I have all adult kids. My baby's 22, and it goes fast, super fast.
Yep.
You can keep sneaking in. We got somebody sneaking in the room right now. The mic won't pick any of that up, but
right.
We'll turn the camera on him real quick and he can wave, right? No, I'm just messing with him. The thing for me with the kids is, we have limits on smoking, drinking, as I mentioned. We have all those limits on these kids, but now you want to do something that will truly alter them for their entire life.
Absolutely.
That does not make any sense at all.
No.
Because you'll fight. No, don't let them smoke, but then you'll fight over here. Well, let's change. It's
pump them full of the opposite sex hormones that will completely change their organ development.
Don't even want to think about it. It's creeping me out.
And why would a doctor, the Hippocratic Oath, why would a doctor ever do that? Do no harm, right?
Because they feel that's not doing any harm. We could get into, and I did look at some stats, and I'm not going to specifically bring any of them up, but the reality is the suicide rates in the trans community is unfortunately extremely high in relationship to any other community. Mm-hmm. I mean, any other community, the Christian community, the Army community, all of it. The ratio is just so much unbelievably higher. Sad. And that's so sad. And this isn't a fix.
No. And I don't think either of us are arguing against people being transgender as adults. You live the life that you want to live as long as you don't harm other people.
Right.
But when it's being pushed on children, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Like you said, when you're an adult, you can make those decisions. When you're at a later teen, you can make those decisions. But my almost 6-year-old, that's not even in the same planet.
Yeah.
In her mindset.
Yeah.
She just wants to be a kid and play.
And the thing that a lot of people don't understand is you brought up homophobic and transphobic, and will be labeled that, or you, I think, specifically said yourself. And the thing is that people that make those labels, generally speaking, they're the ones that have the hate towards someone else. Mm-hmm. And being phobic, and being phobic of anything, that's what that means, is that you hate that individual or community. And I don't hate any of them.
No.
There's a lot of things that I don't agree with, but that hating on people is not my thing.
Disagreeing and hating
Yes.
are completely different things. And I can sit across some of our other subjects today we didn't agree on.
Right.
I don't hate you because we disagree on something.
You already unfriended me, I see.
Wow, I was quick on the draw there. It just...
Here, let me say it. Let me close it with this. I received an email, AskMatt@MattLoganSpeaks.com, by the way. I received an email. I'm gonna do a segment on this, but I took some notes. The question that was asked was, why is it that I have these quotes from all different types of religious views, all types of political views? I literally I don't look at the person or the politics or the religion of where the quote came from. I look at the quote and I say, what can I learn from this, right? Mm-hmm. Do I agree with it? Do I not agree with it? What can I learn? And that's why I share the quotes, is, in a nutshell, is it has nothing to do with political party. It has nothing to do with religious views, because I've posted them all. And, I get some criticism from the Christian community, like, why did you, as a Buddhist, lose your mind?
You had something to say.
We can learn from, you have to take the sum of a person, and you can't just take one quote. I understand that, and say that that's a good person. I get that, and things, but we can learn from those moments too. We can learn from the moments that are devastating, like the death of my daughter that we talked about. We can learn from those things, and we can learn from the good and positive things too. But when you put hate in there well, I'm a Republican, so I'm not going to follow you because you posted a Democrat quote. Well, then you're an idiot. And I don't say that.
Sums it up.
And I don't say that often. But that's a very shallow and closed-minded way to think about anything.
Yes, if you can't look at other people's views without hating the person that's sharing that view, like, it's just the world. Open up your funnel, and absorb as much information and as much thought as you can. You don't have to agree with it,
right?
But don't shun somebody because they pulled a quote from something. A group that you disagree with. That's just
and that's the phobic thing that I'm saying is like people get that it gets to be so culty that they put that in their head.
Is that in Webster's? Culty?
Yeah, culty. I think it's CULTIE, I believe.
Okay.
Jim Jones, you mentioned Jerry Jones. It's Jim Jones' picture is the culty.
Did I say Jerry Jones?
You said
Kool-Aid?
Jerry Jones before. It's Jim Jones.
Cowboys, Kool-Aid, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the point being is that you get so culty in your frame, your paradigm, the way you look at the world, and you see a Democrat and you freak out, or you see a Republican and you freak out, and that's not at all what this is about. But it is about when someone is actually literally by words and by physical abuse hating on somebody. I'm going to draw the line there. I haven't started many fights in my life. I have finished quite a few. And I kind of laugh at that because, I really believe that's the way it should be done. We should stand up for people who can't defend themselves, whether that be physically or mentally or emotionally or any of those things. I do believe that we need to stand up for people, and those people are specifically kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's time to start. What does Rocky say? Keep punching? Is it something like that?
A long time.
But anyway, I don't know. Keep emailing us. Me, not Craig. AskMatt at mattloganspeaks.com. We'll see you next time.